I want to welcome you to our event, Finding the Nation, which we are organizing around our guest, Crystal Kelly Schwartz's interpretation of Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is popularly known as the Black National Anthem. And so the Disability Cultural Center is committed to honoring all kinds of disability communities and deaf, sick, mad communities. And we're particularly invested in avoiding what Patty Berne, Patty Berne, has called the cliffhangers of the disability rights movement. Its tendency to talk about disability alone, to focus on whiteness, and to focus on physical disability. So UIC does not have a large signing community. And I want to thank Hugh Woodson, HUGHWOODSON, Evelyn Keolian, EVELYN, KEOLIAN, and Sandy Tiania, SANDY TIANIA, in the deaf community, for connecting us with Crystal so that we could have this space for honoring Black deaf communities. Another community that sparked this event is UIC's Centers for Cultural Understanding and Social Change. The idea came from a collaboration around the African American Cultural Center and the Women's Leadership and Resource Center's project called Let Our Rejoicing Rise. So in a moment, I'll invite Dr. Natalie Bennett to speak a bit about that. And then we will learn some context about the song before we watch Crystal's performance and learn some of the choices she made and some of her perspective and experience, along with learning some of the song together. So without further ado, thank you for joining us again, and I'll turn it over to Natalie.
Hello, everyone. Greetings to you. I'm so excited about this event. I ran away from another one early so that I could just be here. And I'll tell you where my excitement is coming from. So today's event emerged very quickly and organically. It started with learning about the humanities project led by Dr. Sonia Donaldson of New Jersey City University, where Dr. Donaldson set out to collect performances of the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And so she's created an archive where you can see all kinds of performances in all kinds of ways from all kinds of folks. In this pandemic moment and in the wake of national uprisings against anti-Black racism, the song represented, at least for me, a space for remembering and expressing joy and sorrow and struggle and hope through a song that belongs explicitly to African Americans, and a song that resonates across generations, across parts of the country, and even across Black immigrant experiences. And so in collaboration with the African American Cultural Center, the Women's Leadership and Resource Center put out a call for UIC Black students and community to submit performances of the song. We called this Let Our Rejoicing Rise. I realize that I haven't actually paid attention to how many submissions came in, but I recall that as I was thinking about how we would present the performances, it occurred to me that there are ways in which many Black people may not access this song, may not be able to enter the song, that it figures into their identities in ways that are very different than that we often think about as a kind of sonic experience, uh, a sonic experience that is produced in churches, in Black organizations, in spaces. And so I opened up the conversation with my colleague, Margaret Fink at the Disability Cultural Center with a, what if we created an opportunity to actually experience this music, to have a conversation about this music through the lenses that people who are hearing impaired will bring to it? What has it meant to be someone who cannot hear through one's ears, but one can feel vibrations, one can see joy? And what are the ways in which um, people who are deaf have connected to the song? And so out of that came this new level of the collaboration. Out of that came today's performance. And I'm really looking forward to the conversation that emerges from here. I'm really looking forward to seeing Crystal's performance. I haven't actually seen it yet. I waited till today. And to hearing how music and culture can create possibilities for relationships, for dialogue, even among Black people. And so today we also invited Dr. Johari Jabir from Black Studies here at UIC. Dr. Johari Jabir is a music scholar, a teacher, and a practitioner. He plays the piano. And his work and efforts really focus on Black music performance and the space that Black music plays in shaping Black identities, with interests ranging from the Black barbershop quartets in the late 19th, early 20th century, the gospel blues traditions of the mid 20th century United States, the role of music in the work of James Baldwin, civil rights protest songs of Nina Simone, and honoring the great gospel singer Mahalia Jackson. We invited Dr. Jabir because Dr. Jabir obviously is a kind of expert in Black music in a way that I think will bring another layer of conversation and knowledge to this event, but also kind of help us to start to think about what is the place that Black deaf people particularly have taken up in the music traditions that we've created together as people of the African diaspora. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Jabir.
Sorry, so many little messages are popping up. Good morning, and I'm very grateful to be here as a student of the Black radical tradition with a particular interest in spirituality of the African diaspora and music. So a couple of empirical details to contextualize the making of this song are in order: that James Weldon Johnson composed the lyrics to what we have come to know as Lift Every Voice and Sing. He composed the lyrics in 1899, and his brother, John Rosamond Johnson, composed the music to those lyrics in 1900. The first premiere of the song's performance took place on February 12th, 1900. That was intentionally a performance organized by the Johnson brothers in honor of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And in and around the years 1900, the early 20th century, there is an intentional act on the part of Black intellectuals and artists to establish a connection in February between Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, who said that he did not know exactly his date of birth, but that he claimed February 14th. So this is important because here we have the premiere of the song. It is not yet named the Negro National Anthem. That has not happened yet, but we have the lyrics, we have the song, and we have the performance happening in the year 1900 in the month of February, because it will set up Negro History Week that will become African American History Month. And of course, to connect it to Douglass is a rather obvious move, but also to connect it to Lincoln is a more strategic way of locating the history of Black people within the broader history of the nation, and Lincoln being a seminal figure to reckon with in terms of the Civil War and the abolition of slavery as an emancipation moment. Now, as a student of the Black radical tradition, I don't follow the logic so much of Lincoln freeing the slaves. I see enslaved African people as self-emancipating, but the ongoing work happening through music, especially at the beginning of the 20th century, is to use music as a way of organizing a collective identity. Um, and um, it is not solely an American Black identity, but the language of we and the language of our in this song, particularly as it is in 1919 that the song will be claimed by the NAACP as the Negro National Anthem. Up until then, the Johnson brothers had recognized it more so as a hymn. And if you hear and pay attention to the words, it is a rather reflective structure of music. But the goal has always been that it is a participating performance and not just an observational performance. In other words, the goal of the song has always been invitational. Um, Before the NAACP claimed the song as the Negro National Anthem, we should acknowledge that there had been, as part of Marcus Garvey's United Negro Improvement Association, an anthem for that organization. And the title of that anthem was Ethiopia, Land of Our Fathers. So this is a seminal moment in Black anthems, but it is Black in the sense of both American and diasporic, that this anthem making moment is intentional in the sense that music is participating in taking up a collective identity of African Black people throughout the diaspora. And the themes in Lift Every Voice and Sing have to do with the theme of Exodus, with the theme of faithfulness, and with themes of freedom. All of those tropes occupy the idea of Lift Every Voice and Sing. And there is the politics surrounding this anthem as connected to the NAACP. And that has to do with the NAACP's idea of racial uplift that was also connected to their politics of respectability. For the Johnson brothers, there is a contradictory reality to, on the one hand, this collective identity and their own individual progressive politics that they attempt to activate on the Broadway stage. And in the moment of the early 20th century, theater is very much in America being derived from vaudeville, and vaudeville with certain tropes of minstrelsy and blackface performance. So the Johnson brothers, beyond their composition of Lift Every Voice and Sing, they are a part of a conundrum of Black performance. And there is a book that speaks to this called Beyond Lift Every Voice and Sing, Cultures of Uplift, Identity and Politics in Black Musical Theater by Paula Seniors. And if you'd like to read more about the anthems of the early 20th century in Black social movements, I suggest a book called Anthem by Shauna Redman. The last thing that I will say about what it means to be present for the singing of an anthem, even this Black national anthem, that as an elementary student in the 1970s, we all had to know all three voices of Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I was fortunate personally to have been part of a public school system where Black teachers, primarily Black women, had created a kind of Black cultural nationalistic curriculum that Lift Every Voice and Sing was a part of that. So the 500 children that perform it on February 12th, 1900, it is as if that put forth a precedence for what was to come, which was the participation of this anthem in public school systems. And to participate or to be present for it is to be a part of the collective embodiment, where vibrations of music allow anyone, regardless of hearing and non-hearing, but those vibrations to call forth a kind of collective identity and participation. So thank you for letting me be present today for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jabir, for sharing that contextual information and setting up the performance that Crystal has shared with us so helpfully, so thoughtfully. It's my honor to share the video now. And so before we do that though, I would like to share a little bit more information about Crystal Kelly Schwartz. So Crystal is passionate about spreading hope and positivity with her rhythm and poetry, RAP performances. And she's also an independent contractor who works as an educator, consultant, interpreter, and mentor. And she has performed RAP for over 20 years and believes that through connection with ASL, through visual vibration, people will connect with the message. And staying authentic is essential throughout her work, personal experience as well, as a Black deaf professional working with businesses and organizations that serve deaf and hard of hearing individuals. And through all of this work, she's able to bring different perspectives with her performances. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and we'll play this video, which is on YouTube if you'd like to check it out later. I hope people will let me know if there's any issues with the volume, and I will start it over. Okay.
Lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Like this part right here. Come on. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising side of a new day, we learn. Let us march on till victory is won. Maybe add a little something to it. Just to encourage you. We're going to take it to church later. Let's go. Very much invited till the victory is won. All the brothers out there. Hold your head up, brothers, till the victory is won. To all my sisters in the struggle. Keep believing, sisters, till the victory is won. Till that day. Till that day comes. Let us march on. To victory. Till victory is won. Is won.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Crystal. That was beautiful. I've watched it many times now, and I really love it. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Crystal so that she can share some of her thoughts and experiences about the interpreting process about the song.
Thank you. The way that I was expressing the song, wow, really touched my heart. I'm sorry, let me pin Crystal. She keeps moving her around. I'm trying to I need to pin you. Is there a way for me to pin her so that she won't move?
She should be pinned.
She keeps moving.
She's moving. Okay.
I don't have the ability to pin her.
This is Margaret.
Can you try now,
the
Barbara?
interpreter co-host privileges so that maybe they already have it? They do. Okay.
Can you try now, Barbara? No?
Hold on. Oh, here we go. We're good.
Great.
Sorry for the delay. Okay. I'm good. I appreciate you, how you for me as a deaf person, I really appreciate you too, because this song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, as you can see, the word sing is not only talking about your voices, sing is talking about expressing from the heart your emotions, singing with emotions, and using your hands to sign, and using your voices singing, dancing as well, gesturing, the vibrations. There are so many different ways to express the song. Just wanted to make sure you could see me. There are different ways to express the song, and at the same time, translating the song as well. That is what I'm going to discuss later. For right now, I'm going to talk about a short verse of the song that I'm going to teach you. I'm so excited to teach you all that. But for now, why do I connect with that song? Why does it touch me so much? It's easy to get caught up in the different ways of the song. It really, the music touches you. The music, I found that it's the same over and over and over. The sound is repetitive. The words are repetitive. The rhythm, the emotions, everything is repetitive. So I found my way of expressing it through this. This song, I think it first touched me when I was in church. I was a little girl, always went to church with my grandparents, with my mom and dad, with my family. We always went to church, and that song, oh my goodness, over and over and over, it touched me. I really connected with it. And as I got older and got involved with Black organizations and proceeded to grow, when I was involved with Black businesses, that encouraged me, and I learned so much about that. Black people, we're all alike. They're the same as me. We can proclaim our struggles, the oppression that we have all gone through growing up, and I still can announce that. And at the same time, we connect how? Through the music. The Black National Anthem, not just in church, but everywhere there's a gathering, families at different events, Black events, that song is a connection to us as a people. It reminds us of the struggles that we can overcome no matter what we go through, because people, our ancestors, wow, they went through so many struggles. Was it for nothing? No. They did that so that we continue to emerge and march and fight through the struggles, fight through the systematic oppression, the courts, racism, because of the color of our skin, oppressing us for the color of our skin. We can go through that together, and together we have faith in that song. We believe, we have the frozen text of that, the words, that it reminds us that we matter. Yes, we do. Amen. That's what that song means to me. It reminds me to keep getting up. You see that part, the rising sun? Every day, yes, we get up and continue on. Inside us, no. We get up and spread the news so that everyone can see that we know that we can succeed whatever we put our minds to. Why is that? Because we have hope. And we know that victory has already been won. That's what that song means to me. I am so excited to analyze more in depth and pick out the words that I can share with you and teach you. Because again, there are different emotions attached to it, different translations that are attached, different meanings as well. But the concept stays the same. It never changes. We connect through the songs of struggle of our ancestors of the past. Our ancestors are in the past. They bring so much value to what we are experiencing today. It's a reminder of the words of that song. It reminds us that there is hope. Even in dark times, sad times that make us tired. But we overcome that tiredness, pick ourselves up, lift ourselves up, get up, gather around each other, support each other, and continue to go on. Because the end is not here yet. That's what the song means to me. And now I want to add one more thing. Today, we have different cultures, different communities, sensitivity, respect, because the national anthem want to know, can white people sing the Black national anthem? The same with interpreting. Can a white interpreter sign the Black national anthem? Can they? The same with performing. Can a white person perform the Black national anthem? We will discuss that more in depth and talk about how we can proceed to translate the song. So you want me to continue, or do you want me to take the time now to accept questions? I remember you had asked me. Okay. So looking at the chat, I'm going to see if anyone has questions.
This is Margaret speaking. If people would like to ask a question in the chat or share some responses, that is great. If it's more accessible for you to unmute and speak out, that's also an option. So just want to give people some space for responding and asking questions.
I did see a question of one of my friends, and I wanted to respond to what she said. She said that becoming a deaf person late in life I went to DuSable High School. At school, they tend to sing that song, but in college, I was shocked to find out that there was a national, there were Black people there that didn't know the song. They didn't know the history. I'd like to respond to that and add to that. Yes, the connection with the captioning, and now in the deaf community, there's a discussion about the ASL and BASL. BASL, Black ASL, and ASL. It was set up for the white, and I noticed that the identification through interpreting. I've noticed that the white interpreters and the Black interpreters are different in the way they express themselves. The white interpreters, Black interpreters, even the students, the Black and white, they sign differently. Why is that? I think because a long time ago, it's related to our history. And now, I noticed that many Black deaf people don't know about the history. Many of them don't know about the value of their sign language. Many don't realize that until later in life. Why is that? Because they grew up, the deaf were always oppressed, no matter where they were. They were isolated. Or they went to church, but there were no other deaf there. There were no interpreters. They were always in isolation. But I noticed that schools tend to have a preferred language, and nowadays we don't have that opportunity because the Black National Anthem is not in the schools. That's another way to identify the history, how the words go, the motions, how it's cherished. We want to encourage everyone to remember the history. It is so important to connect with what you see happening today. When I think about the words, I think about the experience that we all have gone through, the experiences that we've had that is connected with the music. And yes, I want to ask you a question, you all a question. Black National Anthem. Would you feel comfortable with singing it? Put it in the chat if you would feel comfortable singing the Black National Anthem. Put it in the chat. One, two, three. I noticed that those that said yes, they said comfortable, yes, but can you say why you would feel comfortable, why you said yes? The question was, are you comfortable singing the Black National Anthem?
This is Margaret. I just want to read some of these things out loud for people who may be calling in. So somebody said, Jeanette said about some of Crystal's comments, this is why the deaf community appreciates people like Crystal to help our Black deaf youth learn our history. And then about the question about whether people feel comfortable singing the song, Natalie said, I can barely hold a tune, so only in private, with a smiley. Winston said, absolutely. Pastor Dr. Carol Clark said it's a way of sharing history of Black people. And then Winston added, we sing it in my church and at my parents' fraternity and sorority events all the time, not just in February, but all year.
Remember, this is a wonderful way to connect, to spread positivity, to express in song the fullness of hope, faith, memories of long past. I noticed that in my expression, I always express short and go up with it. Prayer, the prayer part, I save that part. That's mine, how I express my way. Am I comfortable in front of you all? I can do it again. Again, I have to think about who my audience is. What are we sharing? I picked the beginning part and I stopped at the prayer part. The prayer part, wow, oh my goodness. It can be transforming in so many different ways. There is no one way that is the same. It's like when it comes to listening to different performers, they all sing differently. There's no one way. The only thing that remains the same are the words. The words don't change. They stay the same and have been for so many years. You can't, no matter how many people sing it, they never change the word. And the message, what we understand is it comes from how you translate it. And now, next, I'm going to practice with y'all. I'm going to show you that part, the uplifting part. I'm going to teach you two parts of that verse, of that excerpt that you saw me sign. Okay? So now again, for those who say, yes, I'm comfortable, go ahead, I'll sing it with you. Okay, so turn your videos on so to make sure that I can see you. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't want me to observe you, that's okay too, but ask yourself this, why are you not comfortable signing the National Black National Anthem? Maybe if we have time, you can send me your thoughts. I would love to have a conversation about that. And so now for those of you who are comfortable, let's go ahead and learn the song. Turn your videos on. Great. Technology is wonderful. I can't see everyone, but I'm assuming that you all can see me. So I'm going to explain why I decided to pick those verses to teach you and translate. Interpreting and performing are two different things. Interpreting means that you can't change. This is funny. Anyway, I saw a message that said, oh, look at your hair. Okay. Interpreting, you can't change it. You can't change. When you're performing, it has more flexibility and you can make changes here and there, but keep the concept the same. Interpreting means that you take a message from an individual and then you translate it to their language. It's the same message. That's what interpreting is. Will I teach you how to interpret? No, I'm going to teach you how to perform. I want to make sure that's clear. I do have a dual role of teaching and performing. Okay, now, as a performer, think about your meaning, your connection. Tap right here, tap. That's my connection is the church. That's my connection. That's where my faith is. So what does it mean to you? Your tap. You're ready to start the music. Music, I mean, I don't mean you turn the music on. I mean the music inside of you. Turn your music on. Feel it. Feel the rhythm. Yes. And that's why you see me doing this. There, think for yourself. Whatever you feel. The rhythm tends to stay the same. And you can tell that from the way the song goes. Lift every voice and sing. I noticed that the rhythm tends to stay the same. You don't speed up, none of that. No, it's none of that. It's slowly and calmly. Lift every voice and sing. Boom, boom, boom. The rhythm stays the same. You're connected. For those of you who are hearing the music, you can catch that tone, the rhythm. You catch the timing. You catch the flow. And that's the same thing with signing. And now, the word, the meaning of the words, I will teach you the flow. I picked Kirk Franklin. Why did I choose him? I love how he tends to the chorus with other people. And most of the time, you will see people singing individually, but I love and I notice the connection, the we-ness of the songs that people are singing. I'm very impressed about the connection and the work that is done together. That's what Kirk Franklin does. I chose him because of the group of people and they sing together and the we-ness, they connect. And now I'm looking at the time, so I want to check with Margaret. Should I go ahead and teach it? Do we have enough time? Or it appears that I've run out of time. Margaret, what do you think?
This is Margaret. You're right that we're kind of coming up on 1 o'clock, but I wonder, I really thought the way you interpreted Lift Every Voice and Sing was interesting. There was like, I would love to, if you want to try just that phrase, we could try that.
It's short. Okay. That part is very simple. First, let me sign what I was going to teach you. This is English. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heavens ring. Ring in harmony and liberty. I added, let us march on until victory is won. That's what I was planning to teach, but it appears that we've run out of time. So I'm going to teach you, let us march on till victory is won. Okay? All of us together. All of us together. See my hand? You see my hand? It's from me to all of you. That's all of us. When I do this, I'm talking about all of us together. Keep going. Continue on. Consistently. Through success till we succeed. Again, we together, working consistently, continuing through success. One more time.
We're good. This is Margaret. This is wonderful. I would like to describe the motions that you just did. Um, so the first motion, if you could repeat them and I'll describe them, is to hold your finger sort of upside down with your elbow up to the side and make a circle. And then
That's
that's
showing
to
we
represent the we. And then
together.
you're taking two hands and making a fist with your thumbs next to your fist and placing your hands together where your thumbs are facing your body, and move that in a circle in front of your body. Yeah, Crystal is showing her thumb sticking out where her fist is made again, facing away from her. Her thumbs are touching one another in the middle and
Keep going.
moving in a rhythmic motion forward over and over, that's continuing on. Next, Crystal had two hands up with her palms facing away. Now the two palms are facing each other. And one hand is the fingers I put together, and they're moving between two fingers on the other hand, the middle finger and the ring finger. And kind of pushing forward with some wiggling through, over and over. Now two index fingers pointing up and put at the edges of your mouth, and then flicked forward again so that they're pointing out like you're making an announcement.
We succeed. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you so much for explaining that part. For our deaf, blind, low vision, always wonderful, a wonderful way to explain, add explanations. Right there, you can see it explaining everything. Wow, you see the progress and the way that it was translated. Wow, again, beautiful for me. Healthy, healing, beautiful healing as well. Healing, continuing on to express, all of us together, continuing on through everything, through our struggles, on to success. Let us march on till victory is won. Amen.
This is Margaret again. We're doing like applause. Thank you so much. Jeanette said amen. We have a lot of thank yous coming into the chat. And I think, Ramona, did you want to close us off?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, both to Crystal and to Barbara for interpreting, to Tina Dillon, who has been providing the captions for today's event, to Dr. Johari Jabir for joining us and speaking about the significance and the history of Lift Every Voice and Sing and Black people's performance. Thank you to Dr. Fink and to Dr. Bennett for providing opening remarks. Thank you to all of you for being here. It's just, I think there's just a lot of love that's going around, that's being felt by folks here. I did want to share some of the comments real quickly. I know that we have hit 1 o'clock, but I would like to share some of these. So from Jeanette, beautiful job, Crystal. From Meg, that was wonderful. This event is terrific. From one of our colleagues who had to leave early, this is truly one of the most memorable and impactful events I've attended this semester. This was really good. I have to go to class. Thank you. So we have students here who, of course, have to go to class. Thank you so much. This was a great event. Hope to attend more of DCC's events. We have an amen. We have a thank you all. I've learned so much from Maya. Kelly says, thank you. This was so wonderful and moving. Pastor Dr. Carol Clark says, wonderful. How can we have Crystal present the song to our church? Natalie says, Crystal and Barbara, thank you. Those words aren't enough, but that is all I have right now. Meg says, thank you, Crystal, and everyone else too. This was one of the most special events that I've been to. More thank yous coming in. We had a couple of other comments and questions, which I'll share. If folks can stick around, you're welcome to. We're not going to just shut off this event just because it's 1 o'clock. There was a question, Crystal, what are your thoughts on white people signing this song? Because my answer to your question about, are you ready to sing or perform this song? My answer to your question would be only if I'm invited. If you wouldn't mind answering that, we would appreciate it.
First, I'm not saying that white people cannot sign it. I'm not saying that, but I do appreciate you saying the word invited. I appreciate that because for me, I feel like it's so close to my heart. It's mine, I'm connected to it. And then to look to see someone sign it. But both ways, you could go both ways with it. But it is always best to ask. And also as a white person going into a space where that song is really cherished and hey, can I go ahead and sign it? Or do I sign it with someone? Or follow the vibes. Don't just take it upon yourself to do that because that song is deep.
Thank you so much. And then I just wanted to share one more comment, which is related to Pastor Clark's comment or question about presenting this in church. Natalie mentioned, so loving the levels of Crystal's commentary. This also makes me wonder, I imagine that more Black churches are providing sign language interpreters during services. It would be wonderful if they would teach the song in Black ASL, the Black in parentheses, or ASL, so that deaf people can participate in a deeper way. Something for later, but it's great to see Pastor Clark also asking the same question then directly.
Yes, understand. I'm happy to present and work with different groups, not just churches or schools, but people who are working within the Black deaf community with the children. And I'm also a counselor and a mentor. So same thing as a church performer. I don't just do church, I coordinate. I mean that I teach you and then you teach others and everyone is teaching. It's beautiful. So we can all sing together and give one big performance together. Don't have to just pick one person to perform. It is our anthem. Let us spread the joy again within the song together. So maybe if you have an event and you want to invite me, I can come and do the song. And I'll have everyone join us together. I think we'll have a really good time.
There was a response from Pastor Clark. I don't know if you all saw it. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that enthusiasm and that excitement. All right, so I think it is time to close our program. So again, I want to say thank you to our presenters and to everyone here who has joined us. I hope that you enjoyed it. We have recorded this. And so sometime soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll share out a video so that you can rewatch it. You can share with friends and colleagues, and also rewatch the lesson and practice your signing. We would like to ask you a favor if you can share your feedback about today's program using the link that I think Margaret is going to share in the chat. It's a brief feedback form. And also, the Disability Cultural Center and the Women's Leadership and Resource Center, which are the two organizations that are hosting today's call, we have a lot of wonderful events coming up the rest of this semester. And so if you'd like to learn more about those, you can visit our websites. So that is the Disability Cultural Center's website that I have put into the chat. It's dcc.uic.edu. And the Women's Leadership and Resource Center, we are at wlrc.uic.edu. And I have put that link in the chat as well. And I think that's it. Thank you all again. We appreciate you. We hope you have a wonderful afternoon if you're in the same or similar time zone to us. And we hope you take care. Thanks, everybody.